I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on everything you need to know with the graphing calculator for chapter 1. So a lot of times you're going to start off on your home screen. You're just here blinking, nothing going on. If you hit stat enter, and these are your lists. Now you can have a lot of data in your list. You might have some in there already. You may not have anything. A couple things about your list is if I want to put data, I simply just start typing things in. So I'll go over to 2 and I start putting things in, 5, 2, 31, whatever. And that's how I place the data into a list. Now, sometimes I want to clear a list. If I want to get rid of this list, I can hit clear and come back down and everything's gone. But sometimes I forget that, and this is probably the most common mistake. People hit delete, which is not a big deal. If you're up here, and you got to be up here where it's highlighted up in the margin, and if I hit delete and I come back, the entire thing is gone. Well, I didn't want that. I just wanted to empty it. So I hit second and I hit delete, which if I hit second, it inserts it. And then I can put second and I hit number 2, which then becomes L2. And I enter it and it comes back and the data is there again. So that's when I'm doing deleting data. Now, if I want to delete all the data, say I have a lot of stuff in here and I want to get rid of it, I could always do second memory and it says clear all lists. I can clear all the lists right here if I want to. If I hit enter, it clears everything. If I hit stat, I can clear list an individual list by going to number 4. And let's say I want to get rid of the stuff in L2. I hit enter and now I go back and that's gone. So once I have data in my list, and we were doing this earlier today, I'll show you some things that you can do, or earlier this week, whenever it was. I'm looking at this. This is data I collected. And let's say I want to put my data in some sort of order. I can do stat. And if I wanted to make a stem and leaf plot and I want to put my data in ascending order, I do sort ascending, second, L1, enter, and I go back, and now my data is in ascending order. My data doesn't have to be in ascending order for me to calculate some statistics. So from this data, if I want to calculate statistics, there's a couple ways to do it, all right? So if I do second, stat, and go to math, you'll notice here's my min, max, mean, median, sum. I don't even know what that one is. Standard deviation and variance. I'm going to have to see. Oh, product. So I can multiply all of them. So they're the ones where that we use most often. But you don't have to find them here. If you don't know where something is because it's second, stat, math, if you can't remember where it is, you can always hit second and go to the catalog, which is 0. Now everything is in alphabetical order. Say I wanted to find the mean. All I have to do is go to, now I have these things become the letters. And if I go to my division sign, there's the M. And now there's the mean right there. So if I want to find the average of L1, I can go in, hit enter, and I can do second 1, which then becomes L1, hit enter, and there's the mean for L1. Now, this stuff also exists if I'm here, if I do stat, calculate in one variable statistics, and I hit enter, I put in L1, the frequencies I leave blank in this instance, and then I hit calculate, and X bar is the mean. That's exactly what I just found on the previous one. Here it is here. Down here, SX, this is the standard deviation for a sample. This is the standard deviation for a population. Right now, we're mostly in chapter 1, we're mostly concerned with SX. And the only difference between these two, this divides by n minus 1, this divides by n. Now, if you scroll down, that's what this arrow here tells us I can scroll down. There's the 5-number summary. It exists right there. Now, if I want to graph the 5-number summary, if I want to do a 5-number summary, I do second, stat, plot. I could turn on a plot, turn this on. Sometimes you may have more than one on. You'll notice up here these things are highlighted. That means stat plot 1 is on. I want to go over and I want to find this one right here that has the dots in it because that's going to show me outliers. And when I hit enter, I should be able to hit graph. Here it is here. If your graph doesn't look like this, you go up to here to zoom 9. Zoom 9 puts everything in the center. When I hit the trace button, I can go along and I can look at all the different things that are in here. The last thing I want to show you back in here, sometimes if you want to manipulate this data, let's say my mean was 65 and I had to calculate standard deviation by hand, which usually you don't have to, but let's say I wanted to. Let's say I'm just going to round to. So in L2, if I take, and I have to be up here in the margin, L1, that's not L1, second 1, which is L1, minus the mean, let's say it's 65. And I hit enter, it'll give me all my data right here. Well, if I want to square that data, I can go up top and I can do second L2 and I can square everything. And now that's these numbers squared. And then if I want to total it, I can get out of here and I can go second stat math and I can sum that and then divide by n minus 1, take the square root, in case you ever had to do it by hand. That's how I would guide you through. So whenever you get lost on this thing, second stat math is a good place to go. Stat, edit, or calculate. So edit, this will edit what's in your, if you hit enter, you can edit a list. Calculate, this is the one we're sticking with now, is one variable statistic. And remember, second 0 is the catalog, which has everything in your calculator. So hopefully this helps if you got lost a little, because I do move a little quickly. The more you do on the calculator, the more you'll get used to it and figure out where everything is.